Hey everybody, Reed Price here. I play the role of Rob Shandon on Sullivan's Crossing, and you're listening to Corman Productions' Deep Dive TV Podcast with Dave and Stacie.
Welcome back, everyone. This is Dave from Corman Productions' Deep Dive TV Podcast with my co-host Stacie, and today we're doing another Rewatch with Us video in Sullivan's Crossing, Season 2, Episode 10, titled It's a Wonderful Life. This would be the season finale of Season 2. This is on the heels of Sullivan's Crossing coming back for Season 3. I believe that actually is airing in Canada today when you see this video, right? Did I have that right?
No, a couple days off.
A couple days off?
Because they're not exactly a week behind us.
Gotcha,
They're a different day of the week.
Okay.
So if you're watching this in Canada or Australia or maybe somewhere else in the world, I haven't heard any other countries release information. But if you've already seen the premiere of Season 3, please, no spoilers on this video about that. We are watching in the U.S., and Season 3 premieres here on May 7th. So we're about 10 days behind. So please just be respectful to the U.S. audience, which is primarily who I think's watching us.
Probably,
if
but
you've already seen it. So today we're going to be talking about the first two seasons, and specifically the Season 2 finale, where we're at. I hope everybody did their rewatches since the last time we chatted, and you're all ready for Season 3. And then we're just going to kind of review like where we're at going into this.
Yep, unlike our usual, we're not going to be doing any preparation, no notes, nothing. We're just talking off the cuff, which, you know, not necessarily our strong suit, but, you know.
But it can be fun.
Yeah.
So we are watching the episode on mute. You're not going to be able to see or hear it, so you're going to pull it up on your end. We're watching on the CW app. If you're in a different place, you may get a slightly different cut of the episode, so you might not be able to stay exactly with us. We'll also get ad breaks, and I'm not entirely positive that everyone gets the same ads at the same time, so we'll do our best to tell you what's going on the screen.
Right, yep.
And you can watch along with us while we talk about it, or you can just listen to us babble and leave all your comments down below about the episode and all the things you have to say.
And yes, please confine your comments to the first two seasons of the show, not about Season 3. We have actually seen 301. We're not going to talk about it, of course, until, you know, it airs.
Until it airs on the CW, and we're allowed to talk about it.
Yes, exactly. All right, so start her up.
All right, I've got the episode queued up, and I'm going to start it. Hopefully this works in 3, 2, 1. All right.
Yeah, we're starting with Frank and Sully talking about the situation, which at this point is the auction that's coming up.
The auction's happening today. They're collecting all this money. So between episode 9 and 10, this whole fundraiser happened, like out of nowhere, and they've raised all this money off camera.
It was the previous episode that resolved the whole Sully thinks he hit Lola thing, right? That played out.
I think so.
Yeah, okay.
We did not actually finish our rewatch up till this point.
No. And we had quite a few criticisms about how that played out. Basically, it was proved that, well, not proven necessarily, but we'll remember that it was not, in fact, Sully. And we spent an entire season basically dealing with that plot line. For it to just end like that was kind of like...
And theme song.
You're not going to sing?
I'm going to resist it so we don't get in trouble.
Right. So, also, apologies for last week. Our audio was kind of crappy. There was, unlike my previous phone, when I plugged in the ice mic, it would just start playing the audio from the ice mic. On this phone, I actually have to change the settings. So, our audio was kind of crappy last week. Hopefully, this will be a more enjoyable listening experience, as you will actually be able to hear us without having to put me up full volume. But, yes.
And we've got Lily here with us again. She's being her sleepy self. All right, at the crossing. And there's...
Oh, yeah. That was a cutscene.
Here was a scene that was deleted that we know because of the press photos and because of talking to Reed Price that in the original Canadian version we got to see Maggie picking up this change jar, having a conversation with Sydney. It's the change that Finn had collected at his school. But here in the US CW cut, we just jump right to her at the crossing talking to Cal.
And it's amazing it's really funny to me how that turned out to be a big plot point within the episode. This
right.
Char.
Right.
But yeah, she's currently.
And I love what they do with it too.
Oh yeah. That's probably my favorite part of the episode. And she's currently talking to Cal. And at this point, he knows that she is pregnant, correct? They resolved that plot.
Because effing Andrew.
Right. Well, that's right. Yeah, I forgot.
He's gone now, right? He's not in this episode. He left already.
Nope, Andrew's not in this episode. Hopefully you won't be in season 3. Though I do enjoy making fun of him. I mean...
I wouldn't mind, like, a one-off, like, appearance by him.
Right.
You know? We can't forget Boston exists altogether.
Right.
I think.
Well, you just bring Beauty back.
I mean, I'd love to see Bob Man again.
Fair enough.
And go back to that whole thing. I don't know if that's going to happen, but it would be great. All right, so the team is all gathering up. Here's all the money they collected since last week, which was like yesterday for them. And if they put all these effort in a little sooner, they could have, just saved the crossing and not had to go to auction.
Right.
And everybody's on the same team for once. They're all like, they've dealt with all their beefs and they're all here and working together.
It's nice. Nice for a change. One big happy family. I think Sully is being really morose in the scene. He doesn't like his chances. He thinks that he's going to fail.
Well, remember, he blames himself for all this because it's his fault that nobody knew about this until the last minute, and so he is right
feeling
it.
Himself,
like he blames himself that everybody's about to like lose their homes and their lives.
And we have Connie, who we don't even know if we're going to see in season 3, and that is her prospective mate, possibly. I forgot her name though.
Me too.
Alyssa.
Yes, Alyssa, the hairdresser.
Yep.
So this is where Connie's kind of letting her down. Like, I need to focus on my career right now.
Mm-hmm. I mean, how can you do that after she brought you some coffee?
They're having this nice little heart-to-heart. And I think that's kind of a wrap on this whole storyline.
Right, which...
Possibly on Connie altogether, because...
Yeah.
I haven't seen her name on any of the promotional material for season 3. Not to mean she doesn't make an appearance, but if she does, it's definitely not full-time.
And we might not even see it because the CW might just cut it straight out.
Exactly. And I'm pretty sure it's this episode where T. Thomason made an appearance in the Canadian version, and he is not in this episode that we're watching, the CW version. Mm-hmm. He was completely cut out of it, only appearing in one episode for us in season 2, which was 201.
I mean, to be fair, we were probably the only ones that cared that we didn't see him, but,
Right. Because it's all those little scenes that they're like, we can cut this, that we kind of care about the most.
Right, yeah.
Because we're more invested in the side characters because, we have connections to some of these actors.
Right.
Where we're kind of watching that stuff a little more closely than the main plot sometimes. Yeah, so Alyssa's disappointed, but she understands, and she's hopeful that maybe in the future... Who knows? Maybe in the future we'll get them both back.
Maybe. Perhaps to see him again. I don't like spending so much time on these things only to just drop them completely.
Right. I mean, she was in like 4 or 5 of the 10 episodes this season.
I think so, yeah.
Alyssa?
Yeah. Well, that was sweet. They shared a kiss. And Alyssa did it so that something for Connie to remember her by.
Yeah, because she's hopeful she comes back too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the actress would like some work.
All right, and Edna's doing a smudging to give everybody good luck for the auction.
Not the first time we've seen a smudging ceremony either. That was we saw something similar in season 1, right? We saw that particular ceremony.
They were doing like a land blessing,
Mm-hmm.
and they did a smudging at that.
And Frank also did it in the season
in the
premiere.
hospital.
Yeah.
That didn't go over so well.
No.
So Lola, we can see, still kind of dealing with everything that went on with Frank. She doesn't blame him anymore, but I think they're
Sully,
still kind of... Yeah. Why do I always call him Frank?
He kind of looks like a Frank, to be fair.
So many times I've done that.
Yeah.
What's his name again? Harry?
Sully?
Sully's actual...
Oh, yeah.
I think it's Harry Sullivan.
Harry Sullivan, yeah.
Okay, so the plan right now is they're all heading to the auction, right? But they're about to get a call diverting them.
Right. Lola and Sully are going to end up going to
some lady's house.
Right.
She has a donation to make. So they're going to go, and Maggie and Cal are going to go to the auction, and the plan is they're all going to meet up at the auction.
Except Frank and Edna, I think, stay behind.
They stay behind because they're needed here to take that phone call later.
Right.
I mean, they got to watch the crossing. Somebody
has to.
Although they're just in their house right now.
Right.
Is this their house?
I think so. Actually, I don't know. Is it?
I remember
Sully's?
having. Now we gotta. Oh no commercial break.
Oh, nice.
Okay, I thought we were gonna have a commercial break, but it skipped it.
Oh,
no, there it is.
There we go. But we did have a brief, beautiful shot of Nova Scotia.
Yeah. Now we're at a commercial break.
Yeah.
So I remember a discussion about like, hey, there's Frank and Ed in this house, and I think that's late in this episode, or it was in the last one.
Yeah. Oh.
But it's like at the end of one of the episodes, and I was like, have we ever seen their house before?
Right.
And we weren't really sure. And it's like, well, maybe we have, but we didn't actually like make the connection of that's their house. I kind of always pictured them living in one of the cabins, to be honest.
Right. I think it actually was the previous episode. We kind of, I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's when
Well, yeah, because there's other stuff going on at the end of this episode.
Right.
So it had to be the last episode.
Yeah, because we kind of resolved Edna and Frank's season 1 plot line.
Yeah, that's why everybody's in a good place right now,
Right.
because we already did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, it's the same nurse. Yeah, we're watching the dentist commercial, and apparently that same nurse is in multiple commercials.
So now we're going to commentary on the commercials we're watching?
Sure, why not? And then here's a Harry Potter theme park commercial. Probably to like Disneyland or something.
Something. Universal.
Universal Studios. I went there a long time ago. Like when I was like 14.
So what else is going on in this episode?
Well, let's see. There's the auction. There's Maggie and Cal's relationship.
Oh yeah, they're dealing with that right now.
Yep.
She has broken up with Andrew at this point. He left. Phoebe left after an almost kind of sort of fling with Sully.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, so now she's left to kind of face what's up with her and Cal at this point.
Yep. No Phoebe and Walter in this episode. Andrew doesn't make an appearance. Thank God.
I feel like it's kind of weird this series does this. In both season 1 and 2 finales, not everybody's there.
Yeah.
Usually shows make a point in finales to include everybody at some point. And they don't do that in this show.
I mean, like last season, we didn't even have Frank and
Edna
for
were
a couple
missing.
episodes.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got this woman, and I don't remember her name, the actress or the character, but they're here. And she's going to delay them, unfortunately. They're really nice about it. Because Sully wants to, because he's a good guy. That's kind of the whole point of this, is he helps everybody, and everybody wants to help him back a little. So she's going to give him a check, a nice big check, if I recall.
Mm-hmm. She's gonna take her time doing it.
Yeah, she's like wants to give him tea, and she's gonna pull out this picture album that doesn't amount to anything. But I swear, that photo album's gonna become important to Lola. And I've said my theories for this. That brown car, I really think it's her husband, or maybe even her, that hit Lola. And I think that car that Lola remembers is in the photos in that photo album.
Yeah.
But why didn't we do that in this episode, if that's the case?
Of all the plot lines, the one I'm most okay with just dropping is the whole Lola getting hit by a car thing.
But I feel like it'd be weird to just drop it after doing all of this setup.
Right.
Without having a resolution of who the frick did hit her. After all of that.
So, do we see John McNeil in the scene?
John is here, yes. John McNeil, who plays the mechanic creature in From, is in this episode. He's one of the bidders. He's in this crowd. He's sitting a couple rows behind Cal and Maggie. So let's look when they sit. There he is.
Oh, there he is.
He's right there holding, he's holding his money close to his chest.
He doesn't look so scary.
So the big deal with the auction is it's cash only. They have to put up 10%, I think it was.
Right.
Of their bid. So if they don't have enough cash on them, and they had either 30 or 60 minutes or something like that after the auction to come up with that payment. And if they don't, then their bid is null and void. And of course, that's going to become, important.
Right.
And everybody is, supporting Maggie and like, oh, we were rooting for you.
And I believe
except for
Glenn Perry.
Glenn Perry, who's like, I'm here to, take over town. Thanks.
And this is their first meeting. They have not met before.
Yeah, she doesn't know who he is. And then she hears his name and she's like, well, screw you.
Do we remember who Glenn Perry is played by?
I don't.
We did look it up, but of course,
I'm not good with names.
Yeah, we didn't remember. I'm pretty positive he's going to appear in season 3. I think as once again as an antagonist of some sort.
Yeah, he's got it out for Sully.
Yeah. Though I mean, I don't know. I think he. No, not supposed to talk about that. No, that's something.
Well, it's in the trailer.
Yeah,
he's in the trailer.
Yeah,
or his name is at least.
Right. Well, no, we do actually see him.
Is he? Yeah. Okay.
But I think I know how he comes back into play. But
let's not venture anywhere near accidentally saying anything about the episode we've watched and are embargoed to not talk about.
Right. We'll talk about it in 3-1. My speculation on that, which we should be dropping that next week, right?
Yeah, we're 1 week away.
It's pretty exciting stuff. I'm excited to be talking about this series again, and so soon.
Again, our episodes are going to drop immediately after the East Coast airing. Yep. So at 9 p.m. Eastern Wednesday nights is when the Corman Productions discussions will be live.
Presuming, of course,
live as in on air, not live.
Presuming, of course, that we keep getting screeners for episodes. We don't know what the CW is actually going to do as far as that's concerned, but assuming that we continue to get screeners, we'll drop them immediately after episodes air.
Right. All right. So Lola's got there's 2 photo albums actually. They're in her hands, and we never look in them.
Yeah, I mean, out of politeness, you figure you would thumb through and pretend to be interested.
She's kind of sucks.
she does.
She's a little self-absorbed, that Lola.
Yeah.
So they're explaining the rules of the auction and all that stuff about the 10% and the cash.
Oh, okay.
Is this where she's going to make the phone call?
No, actually, this is where she makes the speech.
Oh, yeah, the phone call's not till after.
Yeah, no. That's after they lose.
So, yeah, okay, she's kind of just telling everybody, hey, my dad deserves this, so don't bid against us. Mm-hmm. That's the general gist of this, right?
Right.
And I think a couple people are going to leave already, or no? Let's see.
Yes, a couple people do end up leaving, and they end up giving them money.
I know, at some point people do, but is that now?
Oh. That's a good question.
Yeah, I think that's where we're going with this.
Right.
Is actually a lot of people get up and leave because they're like, yeah, we don't want to bid against Sully. Sully's a good guy. We want to support him keeping his business.
Not only that, but
he's a staple to this community.
They end up giving her money.
They're just here, take my cash to put towards your what you can bid.
Is not totally believable.
It's a little weird.
Yeah.
Like, that they just hand their whole envelopes over.
Right.
Which is probably, like, a lot of money for them.
They don't, like, need that money? Like...
That gentleman sitting directly behind Cal, I recognize him, and I don't remember why. A lot of these people we've seen in other projects.
Yes. Our Nova Scotia set of actors.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we talked about all of that.
We talked about everybody whose name we had when we covered this episode.
Mm-hmm.
If you haven't watched that or any of our podcasts, go check them out. We have very detailed, not this,
right,
of every episode.
Yeah, this is
this
lesser,
is just kind of
version of what
let's just kind of refresh our memory a little bit is all we're doing here. So that we're ready to really talk about the next one in detail.
Wow, this speech went on for a while.
Yeah, she's still going.
I don't remember it being quite that long.
Now, I know John McNeil doesn't leave. He stays in bids against Sully.
Right. Because he's a monster.
Yeah. This guy's not a monster, whoever he is. He's like, here, take my money and good luck. And you know what I found the most unbelievable about this? We know her from somewhere, too.
Yeah, she
this
looks
woman.
familiar.
Actually, you know where I see her all the time is I see her on Facebook. Her picture's popping up on my Facebook all the time. I think she's friends with Reed and that whole group.
Sweet.
The part I find most unbelievable here is that they take all these envelopes of money, but they don't open them and count it. So how do they know how much money they have to bid?
I mean, exactly. They should be, like, figuring
if
out. If
we're, like, down to the penny of what we're allowed to bid, why are we not, like, frantically looking through these envelopes? She just kind of tucks it in with her money, and she's like, okay, cool. You don't know what was in there. And then you look like Glenn Perry might be dipping out, and he's like, ha ha ha, it's better for me now. Less people are bidding. Thank you.
Yep.
So it kind of worked, but also it did not work.
Right.
And left is him and his guy, John McNeil, one other dude behind him, and a couple over here. And I think they're all going to place a bid.
I don't remember quite seeing so many shots of Nova Scotia in this
all
episode.
Those establishing shots.
Yeah.
They got to tell us we're going across town,
I know. I don't remember there being so many of them.
I guess the establishing shots isn't what we're paying attention to when we're deep diving.
Well, yeah.
We're too busy taking notes about like what we just saw to miss that little blink of a
right.
$20,000. I hope it helps. It's a big difference if they can get the money to Maggie and let her know that she has it to bid with, right?
Yep.
I feel like $20,000 is a big difference when we're talking about needing just a 10% deposit.
Her husband is dead.
Her
correct?
husband died.
Yeah.
Sully was there for her during it. Yeah. And Lola hands the photo albums over.
Is that a satisfying resolution, having Bert, her husband, be the one who ran over Lola?
I just want a positive, here's who that car belongs to, and we can put closure on it.
Okay.
You know?
Let's do that as soon as possible, then.
Like, they made up this whole thing, like, oh, I saw this brown car.
Mm-hmm.
But it was so mysterious because we don't know who was driving it.
And then we lose some war competition. They just check out because it's too rich for their blood.
Yeah, they were bidding, but they thought they were going to get it for pennies on the dollar.
John McNeil just left.
He was the first or second bidder, but he's out already. Monsters don't have a very big paycheck to
I guess
spend.
not.
You know, he doesn't get a lot of residuals from working at that mechanic shop.
I mean, like, it seems like being a monster and killing people would be, kind of a hard job. So you should get paid pretty well for that.
Yeah, but they don't actually kill that many people.
So his friend, aide, coworker,
lawyer?
Yeah, is being sent to the bank to get the money.
Right, I forget his name. But
he needs more money at this point.
He's a banker himself, I think. We met him a few times. So yeah, he was sent to get more cash because Glenn is now bidding more money than he physically has on him. So he needs cash from the bank.
Okay, that was... Oh,
no,
okay.
Another commercial break.
I was going to say...
Commercial breaks are cut weird in this episode.
Yeah.
So yeah, he needs more money. So he sent his dude, whose name we don't remember, to the bank to like take out a deposit. He said, first run to my office, get my bank card, and then run to the bank. So he's off to do errands, but he has to get back in time to make this payment. So Glenn is just like, yeah, I'm going to keep bidding because he's coming back with cash and we're fine. Why did he not bring the maximum he was willing to bid with him?
Maybe he thought he would need to borrow less money.
Yeah, he didn't realize how much money Sully would come with. But if he's willing to bid this much, he should have came prepared with that much of a deposit. Tells me he's not the best businessman that he maybe thinks he is.
Right.
That he's not doing this. I mean, I have a little experience with cash auctions, and that is with storage unit auctions that my mother and I used to do. And yeah, if you don't have the cash on you, you can't bid. That's just how it works. Cash only up front.
Well, in that case, you need the full amount.
The full amount, right. They're just, this is real estate. They only need 10%. And we were still a little confused on how that worked. Like, how much money did they actually raise? Did they just raise 10% and the rest is going on a loan? Or when is that due? It wasn't really clear. But the bottom line of the resolution is they're going to end up getting this for cheaper than they could have gotten it for.
Right.
If Sully had gotten the money there in time, they'd have spent more.
Right. That's
so
fair. True.
Yeah, it worked out okay. They were late.
And we had a whole discussion of like how it actually works. Sully getting
and all the actual numbers that we're just kind of brushing by because again we're watching on mute.
Right.
And to be honest, our mic is blocking like most of the subtitles for me, so I'm not catching a lot of it.
But yeah, I mean, if you're interested in that discussion, you can go back and watch the actual podcast.
Right, for 210.
Yeah.
Oh, it's still not back. This is that Sherlock Holmes and daughter show.
I didn't realize that David Thewlis is.
We got screeners for this. I didn't watch them.
Oh well, maybe I'll check it out then. When is that coming out?
Before today.
April 16th. Yeah. Okay.
It's out.
All right. So I don't even need to watch a screener.
Well, we have more. We have more episodes than are out. If it's something you want to do something with.
Probably not something I want to cover, but you might want to watch it.
All right, so we're back in the auction, going once. Maggie says, I don't have any more money. And the dude doesn't want to sell it, but there it goes. Oh, the timing on that's just heartbreaking, though.
Sully comes right back in.
Like 1 second behind sold, he comes in with $20,000. Because he couldn't get a hold of Maggie or Cal to tell them that they could bid $20,000 more. Or $200,000 more, we're not sure.
Right. Glenn Perry, being the piece of shit that he is gloating about his win.
I feel like this is going really fast. Is there a whole other Oh, yeah, there is. This is only like half the episode. This is one of those ones where it feels like it ends and then we start over.
Yeah. It's not quite as severe as that episode where the hostage episode back in the first season. That we were somewhat concerned that the whole hurricane thing was also going to
and it did a little bit.
A little bit, but
in both of those, I feel like they had 1.5 episodes,
right?
And then there was like a weird half episode. But this is the finale. It just kind of switches gears really drastically here,
right?
Because you feel like this is the main event, the auction, but then it's not the main event. It's like, okay, cool, we're just kind of rounding out this thing we've been talking about for 2 years, and
here's the phone
let's
call.
Go somewhere else.
Here's the phone call that Frank gets.
Yeah, so Maggie had an idea. She calls them because she had overheard that Glenn doesn't have the money and he's waiting for the dude to come back, and the what's the guy that runs the auction called? Bailiff.
Yeah.
He's all like, oh, well, you gotta hurry.
So they're having this morose conversation, him and Cal.
So all that we got about the phone call is that they rushed out with the coin jar. And if you don't know what's happening, it's like, what are they doing? But Frank looks so excited about this plan.
It's funny because this is the kind of thing that Frank lives for.
Right.
He's an old rebel when it comes down to it. And so, they're talking about
I think
legacy and
Sully and Cal have no idea what Maggie just did or that there's still a chance. They're just hanging out for the sake of seeing it to the end.
Yeah, and he's talking about building a legacy and, the kind of thing that, when you get older you start thinking about, leaving a legacy for your kids.
Right, because this is like his grandfather's or great-grandfather's land. It's been in the family forever. All right, so Frank and Edna get to the bank ahead of the dude.
Which is kind of weird.
They made a point of saying he had to stop and get the bank card first. This was the second stop.
Gotcha.
They made a point of saying that he wasn't coming straight here. So they're at the bank ahead of him with this giant jar of change.
And Sully still has no clue.
And we're back just kind of waiting for Glenn to make his deposit. Because if he defaults, Maggie's the backup bidder.
And how long was he given to do this?
It was either 30 or 60 minutes. I didn't see it when they said it here like 3 times. I'm guessing when
now he only has like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So the plan, which they're executing now, is that Frank
the teller is on their side, because the teller says anything for Sully, because everybody loves Sully.
So that the big coin jar that we got earlier,
we're going to just count out one coin at a time and make other dude wait.
And you got that mischief smile.
And it's
Frank.
a good thing there's not a second teller to just take him.
Yeah, I absolutely love that scene. It's fun. It's actually a pretty good resolution to this storyline, which Sullivan's Crossing doesn't always have.
They count down, and the second the timer's up, too late, you defaulted. And just like the timing of Sully coming in, his dude comes in just a moment too late.
Right.
So it's like same exact thing, but mirrored the other direction.
And Glenn Perry has been defeated for now.
Yes,
get a feeling he's going to get
He did not win the crossing. Sully... Now, I'm confused how this works, because he already owns it. He's the one that owes the original loan.
Right.
Did he just buy it from himself? Does he owe double the money now? How does that...
We talked about that.
I'm sure we did.
But
I don't understand it. What exactly happened?
So, I mean...
And we can talk about it because we're on commercial break
right.
again.
I mean, like, if someone else had won, for instance, they wouldn't have... Would they be taking over the loan, or would they own the crossing?
They would own the crossing for that price. That money would go against what Sully owes, and whatever's still owed on top of that, he would still owe. But he would have lost the crossing.
So
does he owe double now? Like, what he owed plus this? Or does this payment go against his loan? And he still owes the original loan?
I would assume that would be how it works. I mean, you wouldn't, like... What would be the point of, like, winning it to, like, pay?
That's why I'm just confused that he's even allowed to bid on against himself, because he's the original owner.
Well, okay, so you do...
But he still owes the original loan, minus this amount, which is presumably less.
Right. So you do storage auctions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are people who have had their storage units go into default allowed to bid on their storage units?
I don't think so.
No?
I mean, and the basic idea is if they had the money, they would have just paid for their storage unit.
I mean, fair enough, but...
And that was, I think, the thing here is why can't Sully just pay the amount he owes on the default end? And why are we still having an auction? Because wasn't it said you have until the day of the auction to pay it, and he never did. But he has all this money, so why didn't you just? That's what I don't get. There's I'm missing a link somewhere of why the auction is happening. Because I very clearly remember them saying you have until this day to pay what you're defaulted on.
Right, which
is the amount he's bidding in the auction less than the default amount? Because that doesn't seem right, because the default's just like months or a year.
Right. I mean, how far behind did he get?
Not, like, total value.
Right, no.
Yeah, very confused about how that works. And, maybe that's because it doesn't make sense. I don't know.
I mean, probably not, but...
All right, we're back.
Like fictional universe, so...
Are we back?
We are back.
Weird,
I think.
Weird cuts.
Yeah. Okay, so we're at Frank and Edna's house again, I think. I think this is their house.
Is this the scene we were talking about earlier, or is this another scene?
No, yeah, this is a scene where
we didn't know if it happened yet or not?
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure this is where Sully...
We don't sound like we know what we're talking about.
No, this is where Sully offers them the partnership.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, I want to let you know. Oh, yeah, because they weren't even there. They're like, how'd it go?
Right. And he's basically kind of like acting like, oh, something bad just happened, but then kind of flip. Oh, okay, so no. They know the truth, and now he's kind of like
I
pretending
decided
like
to take on partners.
Right.
Which is, that was the whole thing the last few episodes with Glenn.
Yeah.
Is he was a potential partner, and that obviously went south. And now they're like, well, who's the new owners? The new partners? And he names them. So this whole thing is just his cute little way of being like, hey, I'm giving you part of the ownership. Which kind of feels a little weird after so many years that they've been working for him.
You would think that he would have considered doing that a few years
Decades ago. Yeah. And does he just give it to them? Like, hey, you're owners now. Cool. Like,
yeah, I'm sure there's like some kind of like paperwork or something.
Okay, so here is Shandon's being filmed at the Halle Deli.
I'm kind of curious if we're going to see her again, too.
Clover. I forgot about Clover.
Yeah.
We wanted so badly to blame this on her.
Yeah, but...
And we couldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, a little bit, but not... It's not her fault.
Mm.
So they're setting up this whole congratulations party. This crossing was saved. Everybody's excited. Rob and Sydney are trying to convince each other to go for love.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of both giving each other the advice they need.
Oh yeah, they haven't resolved the rape and Sydney
they're
yet.
kind of broken up right now.
Yeah.
Rob was like got this thing with Jane, but he's all like, no, not ready for that. And she's like, go to Jane, and he's like, go to Rafe, and they're being good siblings.
Right. I know that I forgot how Rob's story ends up playing out there. I know what Sydney does, but I forgot if Rob actually talks to Jane or not.
I believe he invited her to the thing tonight. Yeah.
Oh, yes, but that's gonna go down in flames. Literally.
I don't think she was there for any of those scenes, but I do think we have a scene with her where he's like, hey, do you want to come to a party?
Mm.
Unless I made that up.
You could have.
It's been a minute. It hasn't been a year for us, but it's been a minute since we've watched this, which is why we're rewatching.
Right.
Alright, so Maggie is being sentimental about something. What's Maggie doing? Oh, the family tree on the wall. They rebuilt the mural, which Sully had earlier painted over.
With the help of Phoebe.
And she's looking at all the framed family photos, and... What are we doing? Are we talking about Phoebe? I'm not sure what we're talking... Oh! Is this her deciding to stay?
Yes.
She's
She's
about to tell her dad, like, surprise, I'm not moving back to Boston. I'm going to move here full time. Duh, that's kind of an important step.
Right.
That I almost, like...
Mm-hmm. 2 years of getting to this moment.
Of, the main character of Sullivan's Crossing officially living at Sullivan's Crossing.
Right.
Is Maggie the main character, or is Sully?
I kind of think
I think all three of them have
yeah.
equal billing.
Yeah. Sully is, in my mind, the glue that holds all these characters together. He's, like, basically everybody has some type of relationship to Sully. Like, at least the mains.
Right.
Even down to Rob. They all depend on him. I think we're sort of led to believe that Maggie is the lead character. It's kind of her leg that we're following. But,
Right.
But I think it's definitely Cal, Sully, and Maggie that make up the heart of the show, along with Frank and Edna. And it's kind of an ensemble drama, really, when it comes down to it. But I think that Maggie's like
I think
main...
all three of them have equal
Yeah.
billing, though, as main, like the top cast members.
Right. I mean, like, from the beginning, it was kind of like Maggie's story.
Right. Alright, so they're hugging, they're all happy. She's gonna basically choose him over Phoebe, is what it comes down to.
Right.
Alright, so Rafe gets Sydney at his door. He's not happy to see her. Doesn't really care what she has to say. She wants to give him the good news that they won the auction. He's like, cool, you could have called me, bye. Their relationship frustrates me.
Yeah.
They've had so many ups and downs and backs and forths and maybes and maybe nots.
And I'm a little confused by Rape in the season premiere. Again, we're going to not talk about that now. But
don't talk about it at all.
He seems unhappy here, then he seems unhappy there. Is Rafe ever happy?
No! He's not. So she's like, I want to explain to you what happened in New York.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I haven't done that yet. I'm not sure why she hasn't done that yet. They're going to communicate, which is this novel idea, I think, for them.
It's refreshing to actually, see them do that.
Is this another commercial?
No, it's it. Oh,
no,
yeah,
it is.
For a second there, it looked like it was going to be the show, but then...
Yeah, we're getting these weird cuts where we're getting like a few seconds of the next scene, and then it goes to commercial. And then it looks like it's like skipping.
It's kind of reminding me of, watching it on the Roku channel. The Roku channel does the weird stuff and has weird cuts and times too.
But it's free!
Right,
So
yes.
thank you, CW, for providing us with free entertainment.
Free Sullivan's Crossing.
And you know what else is on the CW? Under the
Dome.
Dome.
Yes.
Under the
we are
Dome
also
is available on CW, based on the book of the same name by Stephen King. We are just getting ready to start season 2, finally.
Yeah, yes, we
in our coverage.
Took us 2 years to do season 1 multiple times.
We got it right this time.
Yeah. But yeah, we're going to talk pretty soon about season 2.
Yeah.
So if you're interested, check that out as well.
And people who are in the Fromily often list Under the Dome as a comparable genre show. As far as, the being trapped somewhere and limited resources and bubble cast and all that.
So far, From has proven to be a much better version than Under the Dome. But
Yes. But Under the
always,
Dome is still worth the visit.
Yeah.
If you've never seen it.
Mm-hmm.
If you have seen it, it might not be worth a revisit to you. But
No.
But it's worth watching once, I think.
Yeah.
Or 6 times if you're us.
Yeah, I mean, like, the first time watching it, I liked season 1 and 2.
Yeah.
The second time, I liked season 1. I had my issues with it, but season 2, I could definitely see the problems and the drop in quality. Season 3, when I watched season 3,
of Under
this
the
most
Dome,
recent time, Under the Dome, I don't, a lot of it doesn't seem familiar. The only thing that does is the first episode, so I don't even think I watched season 3.
I'm sure you did. You just blocked it out.
Oh, maybe.
Because it wasn't good.
Right.
Or memorable.
I don't know. There's a lot of things
I did this
remember.
very recently. I rewatched The Affair.
Mm-hmm.
And in my brain, everything that happened in season 4 was actually season 5.
Oh.
And I'm going, what happens in season 4? And then we get to season 4, and I'm like, I thought that was season 5. We get to season 5, and I went, did I watch this? And then it all came back to me, and I was like, oh, yeah.
Did you not like season 5?
I didn't like season 5. Although it was better on rewatch. All right, so we're back, Sydney and Rafe. So she's explained everything, and he's like, oh, why didn't you tell me this? We can be happy now.
Yay. Except
I mean, that's the generalization, right, of how this goes?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how this goes.
I'm curious how it goes. I really want, them to be happy together.
At least for, an episode or 2.
They both really like each other, and they've had so many, false starts that they're finally going to actually be officially together as a couple. I'm pretty sure for the first time in all of this.
Mm-hmm. A beautiful shot, a nighttime shot of Nova Scotia.
So here we are at Shandon's diner. Rob has chili cooking, and he's just going to be like, the chili's cooking and leave. And he doesn't tell her to watch it. He doesn't turn the temperature down. This is his fault.
Isn't he just been look older in this scene than he has even all season?
Well, because you last watched him in the first episode he was in.
Right.
When he was like 3 years younger.
Right.
The actor. Whose name I forgot again.
Yeah, I can't come up with it.
So yeah, Clover and Finn are staying. Rob's going to... So, okay, it's not that he had a scene with Jane, but he left to go, like, talk to Jane, right?
Yeah.
Is that what happened?
Probably.
And Maggie's gonna come talk to Cal, and she's just popping all this news to everybody, right? So she had this conversation with her dad about how she's staying.
They haven't even officially decided to be a couple yet.
That's what's happening in this scene.
Wow, okay. I thought that already happened.
No, this is where Maggie's like, I'm not leaving. Do you want to get together?
Gotcha. Is this why Sedona's credited with this in the episode? Because she's...
Oh, yeah.
There she is. Okay. It was not a flashback.
That's Cal's sister Sedona, played by Megan Ori.
Hey, we remembered that name.
I remember her name, yeah. Some of them I got, some of them I don't.
Oh, and okay, so we're resolving that situation. She doesn't have schizophrenia.
Yay! I know from the trailers we're going to get to meet more of Cal's family and learn more about them in season 3.
Yes, I think we're going to meet his father and...
His parents, are in one of the trailers. I hope Megan comes back. She's great.
Yeah.
Especially since we spent like 3 episodes getting to know her here.
Right. I mean, why would they bring her back unless the actress is busy?
Alright, so he wants to celebrate that, his sister's not dying or whatever.
Yay!
And she's like, actually, I got something I want to say. Like, do you still like me? I may have finally, after 2 years, made a decision, even though it's been 2 months in their timeline, I think.
Right, probably.
So, okay, the timeline. Season 1, it started in June.
Okay.
We got... It was June. By a couple episodes in, confirmed that. The day that he left to spread the ashes, was that the end of season 1?
That is the end of season 1.
It was July 22nd, was that date on the calendar that he had circled.
Okay.
Then we had season 2. We don't know how long this took, but Finn started back at school, because he was collecting coins at school.
Right.
So it's at least September.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have a lot to say about what is the timeline going into season 3, because I think it's September right now.
Okay. At the end of the season, we're in September.
Does this feel like September? Finn just started back in school.
Does it feel like September?
Like 2 episodes ago, they said he started school next week, and now he's in school to collect the coins at school.
It could be late August, school.
Okay, but here. It's the beginning of the school year.
Right.
Okay. And we will talk about that when we talk about 301.
That's a topic for the season.
It is, because I'm confused. And I need you to help me with that.
Okay.
So when you're taking your notes...
I'll try.
When you're taking your notes, I want you to think timeline.
Okay. So you think... So this episode is August, September, beginning of the school year.
Yeah.
Alright. I'll keep that in mind when I'm doing notes for season 3, episode 1.
Alright, so Sully realizes what he just interrupted.
Yeah. Cute little moment there.
And he's going to give him a minute. And he's very happy because he's been wanting this all along. Because, he doesn't care for Andrew.
Nor do I. Again, nothing against the actor Alan Hawko. You wouldn't hate Andrew as much if he didn't have an actor of that caliber bringing him to life.
So Finn and Clover are working on the decorations. Don't think we hate her as much as we did at the beginning of the season.
No.
But we still really wanted to blame this on her. But there it is. The whole stove catches on fire because...
You were convinced that it was going to end up being her fault.
It felt like it had to be.
Right.
And then there's a commercial break. But when we come back, Shannon's is on fire. the chili, it's the chili's fault. It's not even in a crock pot, but it's the chili's fault.
Okay, we're blaming it on the chili itself.
It's Rob's fault.
Right, yeah.
He left the chili on. The lid wasn't even on right. The whole stove was obviously very greasy for it to have caught fire that fast. He has not cleaned the stove in a while. He shouldn't have left something cooking on the stovetop unattended. The very least, he should have told her, I need you to keep an eye on it.
Right.
If he said, keep an eye on it, I'd be blaming her.
Right.
Because she didn't keep an eye on it. But he didn't say that. He was just like, yeah, the chili's cooking, and so I got time to leave. And, like, she's not a cook.
Right.
She doesn't know she should be watching it.
Well, she is the assistant manager, but we know what that's worth.
Yeah, but he never said a word about, like, wash the chili.
Right. Make sure it doesn't run away.
He should have turned it off, or, you know, it should have been cooking in a slow cooker.
Right.
That's not owned by the Pearson family.
Right.
Yeah.
These commercials are long.
They are. It's a lot of commercials. You know, that's another Gilmore Girls connection.
Oh?
Milo Ventimiglio's
Oh,
in that
that's
show,
right.
too.
Yeah.
I think him and Chad Michael Murray are both,
Were they...
they're Rory's
Was he a regular on that series?
classmates. At least for some portion. Again, I've never watched the show.
He was like a boyfriend.
Yeah, they're both, I want to say they're both love interests for her, but I could be wrong. They're definitely both classmates of her.
Gotcha.
Which makes me feel really old.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, much younger back then. Oh, and here we are.
Chili.
Chili's on fire.
And Clover's outside screaming. That's quite an effect. Shandon's on fire. Cal's calling it into the rescue team, which is Connie and Rafe, because they're the only two people that work in fire, police, ambulance, search and rescue.
Right.
It's them. They run the whole town of Timberlake.
If there's more than one emergency, someone is just shit out of luck. So Sully's running into the building.
Maggie's calling who? Oh, she's calling Rob. Okay.
Right.
That makes sense. We should probably tell him.
Yeah. Hey, your place of business is on fire.
Alright, so here's Connie and Rafe arrive pretty quickly. They do have help, but they're both there, because of course they are. They're in any vehicle that arrives for any emergency services. It's probably a morphing vehicle that just changes into what you need it to be.
Right.
Although both vehicles are here.
Like
there's the paramedics. The paramedics and the fire truck are both here. They came out of the fire truck today, though. But in, like, season 1, they were definitely coming out of the paramedics truck.
Alright, so Finn is out.
Finn's out. He's you know, he needs to be checked out, but he's alive.
Right.
Maggie's doctoring.
I'm kind of curious exactly how that happened, that Clover ended up out of the building, but...
She said she, like, couldn't find him.
Okay.
In the smoke or something.
Gotcha.
I mean,
weren't they together?
They were together, and she should have definitely made sure he got out.
Right.
She's kind of a sucky babysitter.
Right. Maybe even worse than Julie.
Julie, yeah. I think you made that joke during the podcast.
I'm probably sure I did. Anytime we bring up babysitting, we go right to Julie.
But he's alive?
Yeah.
So maybe she's a better babysitter than she is assistant manager.
Perhaps.
Because he is alive.
Right. Fair enough.
And we know she did 0 as manager. Nothing.
Oh, they're sharing a tender moment. I think the idea of Cal being search and rescue was floated a couple of times earlier in the season, and this might be a catalyst for him actually doing it.
Yeah.
Though I think he had already applied.
He had applied at this point already. Yeah.
Right.
He had submitted his application to Connie. Alright, so Cal and Maggie are going to pick up where they left off earlier and sit outside the fire and make out. Because that's a good time for that.
they can't find Sully.
Yeah, she realizes, wait, where's Dad? He went in and hasn't come out. Everybody else came out but him. And Rafe's like, sorry. And she's like, no. And then, boom. And then she has a very emotional little breakdown thinking her dad might have just exploded.
Right. And I'm very curious as to how he possibly could have survived that if that is in fact what happened.
I know we speculated he could have got out a back door.
Right.
But we do know Sully's in all of the previews.
Right.
For season 3. Now.
So we're allowed to say that?
Yes, he's in all the promotional material.
Right.
He's in the previews. He's in the press photos. Now, I'm going to pass along a suggestion that in some television shows, that doesn't mean a character is still alive.
Yeah.
There's always opportunities to bring back dead characters, even if it's not a sci-fi series. The episode's over, by the way.
Right, yes. The episode's over, so...
Even if it's not a sci-fi series, which this obviously isn't, at least hasn't been yet, they could do anything they want,
Aliens are going to invade at any moment. I'm pretty sure I made that joke before.
But, even in a drama, there's 100 different ways you can keep an actor after their character died.
I mean, this is us lived off of it.
Exactly.
Basically.
This is us...
Yeah.
Milo's character was dead from episode 1.
Right.
But he was a main character in every episode.
Right, yeah.
So you can have flashbacks, you could do, alternate timeline type things where we're jumping around in the timeline. You can do dream sequences, you can do hallucinations, and then you have all the supernatural stuff. You could do a twin brother. I can see that working in this kind of like crazy drama.
I mean, a show that also recently did that, of course, was Paradise by the same people who made This Is Us. So, they had a dead character who's basically a main character.
That was in the vein of This Is Us, where we're following different times.
Yep.
But I could totally see a drama like this being like, oh, didn't we ever tell you Sully had a twin brother? I'm his brother,
Mm-hmm.
He's Harry and I'm Joe,
I mean, yeah.
I'm Joe Sully.
Yeah. So we already kind of know where the story is going, so I'm going to refrain from speculating any further.
I'm just saying.
I would say
that, it is possible for trailers to be misleading.
Right. So.
However, it has definitely been confirmed that... What's his name?
Sully?
The actor?
Scott Patterson?
Scott Patterson is still a main character in season 3.
Right.
A main cast member. The same 3 are still, on all of the cover shots.
Now, I will say that in the 210 podcast that we did, that I, from the get-go, and I have proof of this, go back and look at it, expressed skepticism that they would actually kill Scully. I didn't believe it for a second.
You just called him Scully.
Wow. Not Scully, Sully. Scully is a totally different character.
A little bit.
From a sci-fi show, The X-Files, that I watch. But, so I have expressed skepticism that they were ever going to kill him off. But we'll see.
Stranger things have happened in dramas also. You never know.
It just feels like it'd be the wrong move. Like, he's one of the hearts of the series.
What we know, we still might not have a full picture. Things could still go other directions.
I mean, perhaps we can get more information.
I
hope we do. Actually.
This is one of those shows where you never know when they're going to sneak in a little twist that you don't see coming.
Right.
And hopefully they're meaningful twists and not silly, ridiculous ones that don't go anywhere.
Right. I mean, sometimes it's what Sullivan's Crossing does.
I mean, any drama.
Right, yeah. In any drama or sci-fi series, you might get, like, this really dumb twist that doesn't make any sense. But, looking forward to Season 3. Looking forward to talking about it. I'm really happy that we're
I'm going to ask if you have already seen the episodes because you're not in the U.S. and you're a week ahead of us. Please refrain from putting any spoilers for Season 3 in the comments. But give us all of your thoughts about Seasons 1 and 2 and this Season 2 finale and all of that good stuff. And then follow along as we go through season 3, sticking to the week that we are talking about in the U.S.
Yes.
Please.
When you watch the podcast, keep your comments to the episode that we were talking about, or prior episodes. Don't talk about future episodes until after they air in the U.S.
Yes.
We will have seen those episodes that you're probably talking about already.
But our audience has not.
Yes.
So please, don't be a bully.
Right.
Don't be a troll, because we would hate to have to block anybody from commenting on our channel.
Right. All right. Do we have anything else to say before concluding?
Come back for season 3.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm really happy that we're getting a chance.
When we have notes and
right.
we talk about all the things we do in a normal podcast, like all of our actors and all that great stuff.
Yeah, I'm excited about the upcoming season. I'm excited to be talking about it basically at the same time, almost the same time as a Canadian
very
audience.
close compared to the 5 months we had to wait for seasons 1 and 2 to hit the U.S.
Right.
So it's exciting. Yeah. And we already know where it starts, but I can't wait to see where it goes.
Absolutely.
And the scope of the season, and getting to see more of all of our friends of the channel. So many amazing people. Again, thank you to everybody who's involved in the show who has come on our podcast and talked to us. And if you happen to be seeing this and, you're somebody involved in the show and you haven't been on our channel, if you're somebody involved in anything to do with any of these shows, we'd love to talk to you.
Absolutely.
That's an open invitation to anybody in cast or crew of any show we cover or any related anything. Get in touch with us and we can talk about it. Please.
All right. On that note, Stacie can be reached at?
I can be reached on Twitter, X, Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky at TVN Coupon Talk.
If you like this video and want to support the channel, there are ways to do so. You can follow me on Twitter at Core Productions. You can join the Core Productions Facebook page. You can also follow me on Blue Sky. You can not yet. No, I don't say that yet.
We're not editing this, Dave.
Right, I forgot. Okay, so you can buy something from the Core Production store on Zazzle, which has a bunch of new Sullivan's Crossing products.
I meant to shout that out. We've got new Sullivan's Crossing inspired fan merch on our Zazzle store, which you can get to from our Linktree shop. You head to our Linktree, tab over to the shop, and then you'll see all sorts of different categories of stuff there, but including Sullivan's Crossing. We have 2 new designs that have launched in our Zazzle store related to Sullivan's Crossing. One is Escape to the Crossing.
Yep.
And the other is Save Shandon's, particularly about Shandon's Diner. What's going to happen with Shandon's?
Right.
It's gone. It's on fire. It burned down. What is Rob going to do? And I know it's going to be a plot point for season 3. Is
absolutely
what's Rob going to do about his business that is currently not open because of the fire?
Right.
So save Shannon's.
Yep, save Shannon's. Buy something from the Corn Productions store on Zazzle. You can buy me a copy. You can do the Corn Productions membership starting at 99 cents a month. And of course, you can like, share, and comment on this video as well as subscribe to the channel. This is Dave and Stacie from Corn Productions, signing off.